Der Goldpreis war zuletzt wieder auf dem Vormarsch, auch Goldexplorer sind wieder stärker im Fokus des Interesses. Wir sind bei unseren Recherchen mit Mawson Resources auf ein Unternehmen gestoßen, das uns sehr aussichtsreich erscheint. Es ist uns gelungen, CEO Michael Hudson vor die Kamera zu holen, von dem wir uns jetzt einige Hintergrundinformationen zu Mawson einholen wollen. Welcome, Michael.
Thanks, Björn. Thanks for having me.
Michael, before we start talking about Mawson, please give us a bit of background about yourself and the team at Mawson, because management is key at juniors, especially in the resources sector.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. We're not very successful as geologists as an industry, so you've got to have those good people to turn good projects into great ones, and to find other ones if projects don't work out. But I think what we have here is a fantastic project, and I look forward to outlining that. And it's surrounded by very good people. We're a technical group. I'm a geologist with nearly 30 years experience now, and I've spent that all around the world. I've spent 20 years nearly in the Nordic countries, so I know that part of the world very well. We've been together in Mawson for a very long time. The company was listed in 2004. There's a technical group of directors. There's an environmental specialist at the director level. There's capital market people at the director level. So I think we've got a pretty good mix. Even though we're technically driven, we've been in the capital markets and we've had those discoveries before behind us. In the last cycle, we took 3 companies up to $500 million through discoveries in the Nordics. So we've got that capital market experience as well. So a pretty well-rounded group, and we just love having fun and finding things. Is essentially what turns our crank.
Great. Now, as you said, you're in the Nordic countries, Finland especially. Now you're in Australia. The company is a TSX company, and the project is in Finland. How did that happen, and why Finland?
Well, it happened through serendipity, as most things do, or creating your own luck or opportunity, I suppose. So like I said, I went into Sweden in the late 90s, early 2000s, and was exploring there, started to know the country there, extended into Finland a few years later, and then in 2009 Arriva came to us, and at that stage we had some uranium projects, and they offered us their uranium portfolio in Finland. Little did we know that the project that had the most opportunity was a project called Rompus that they'd only done a month's work on, had 30 samples, but staggeringly high grades of gold that we didn't believe at the time, and until we went out there on site a few days later, and that's essentially how we came to this project.
Interesting. Now, as you said, the project is called Rompus, or Rompus Rajapalat, if I pronounce that correctly. Tell us a bit about the project. What is the size, the location, geology? Where's your neighbors at? Who are your neighbors?
Yeah, well, I've spent a long time, like I said, in the exploration business. I started working in mines, and you really want to be in countries that want mining. I think that's the #1 rule, especially for a junior, where sovereign risk is very hard to offset, where you have only a few projects. So Finland certainly is the home of mining in Europe in many respects, and northern Finland, where we're located, is the home of mining in Finland, and we've got many majors around us. We've got Anglo-American, we've got AXINO Eagle, we've got Goldfields. So they've been in the country for a long time. It's the home of mining, as I say. AXINO are there with Kittilä, which many of your listeners would know is Europe's largest gold mine, an 8 million ounce system that just gets bigger and bigger. AXINO are wonderful operators and have really put the new face of mining on the map in Finland, so they're a fantastic company to have in country. And the rocks that we have are very similar to Kittilä, the Kittilä mine, the same age of gold. as is many many other systems up in that part of the world. So it's a good place to be.
So you've been working on the property for some time now. What have you achieved so far, and what kind of exploration programs did you, or drill programs did you run yet already, and what were the best results? And also, please give us an idea of the overall picture of what you have there.
Okay, so first of all, we found a very big system, and that's important. We've got a 10 by 10 kilometre scale system that we've developed over the last 5 or 6 years. We've been on the ground for a while, but from 2012, when we put our first drill hole, and Finland's best drill hole, it remains that in terms of width and grade, 6 metres at 617 grams at Rompus. The market became a lot slower for exploration, and Finland went through a lot of permitting issues there from 2012 to 2014, 15. So things slowed down for us there. So we put about $15 million in the ground. We put 28 kilometres of drilling. The average drill hole depth is only 90 metres. So we're just really touching the surface with what we've done to date. It's a very big area. We've concentrated on where we found gold at surface. Now, it's very important to understand that, and I won't go too far into geological description, but it's pretty interesting that only 10,000 years ago there was 3 kilometres of ice on top of Finland. And when that ice melted, it left a very thin veneer of rubble, which is called glacial till, and that covers 99% of our project and the majority of Finland, actually. It's only 3 to 5, 6 metres thick, so it's not that thick from an exploration point of view, but it masks 99% of the rocks. And we've found most of our discoveries to date in outcrop, which is only that 1% so far. So it is a drill exercise, and we only put our first big drill program in last winter. It stacked up very well, and some of those results, recent results, have been around the 7 metres at half an ounce gold, 15 grams, 10 metres at 11 grams from surface, or just below that till, so a few metres below surface. There's been multiple 100-gram metre intersections, if you like, so if you take the grade times the width. And we've got about 4 key projects that we've defined to date, that we'll come back and look at those again. But there's still a lot of upside. We have something like 60 kilometres of this trend of rocks that continues through that 100 square kilometres, and we've only tested 5% of that. So early days, very good start, areas to focus on, but we still can't forget the upside and the unknown, if you like.
And early in the year, you put out a press release on a new discovery called East Rumpus, if I'm correct. There was some sampling program you did there, if I remember correctly. Can you give us some details there? What were you looking for there, and what did you find?
Well, East Rumpus is a great success. We found a 700-metre trend now with multiple, and I'm saying 40 or 50 high-grade outcrops that have assayed over 2,000 grams. And this was only 500 metres away from that best hole that we drilled in Finland in history 5 or 6 years ago. So even though we thought we'd been over the property and we understood it, we found these outcrops only over the last few months, the last 3 months. So it's a brand new discovery. Extremely high grades, as I've said, and we're there drilling now. So we move fast from discovery to drilling. Our aim there was that, and it's really important just to try and understand it, but it goes to show that the depth of understanding of the project has done this since we started drilling last year. So we've started to find multiple levels of mineralisation in the package, if you like, of there's many slices of bread that host gold in that package of. If you think of the package of rocks like a loaf of bread, and one of those areas was where we had this very high grade vein mineralisation at Rompus, and we explored that 5 years ago and left it, and then went over to the other side of the property 8 kilometres away and looked in these different rocks where we're getting much more continuity of gold. and we like that, and that's what we've been drilling. Now, we found that this series of rocks is very close to that vein series, but we'd never looked for that more disseminated and consistent style over here at Rompus. So we went back to Rompus with that geological knowledge, just outboard from the vein system, and bang, we found these outcrops. Now, it's a hybrid style that we found there. We want continuity. We want to put continuity together, and that's why we're drilling there and trying to find continuity. Not such the high grades, if you like. I mean, they're there, and I think we'll find them. But we like to find the continuous zones that have that we can put resources around.
Okay, so certainly sounds interesting for 2018. Which leads us to my next question: what are you going to do in 2018? I think you have planned a drill program for the winter month. Can you elaborate a bit on that? What is the budget for that? What do you want to achieve in that winter drilling and in 2018 as a whole?
Sure. It is drill, baby, drill. That's what we're going to be doing. East Rompus is the start. We're talking here in mid-January, the second week of January, so that's where we're drilling with one rig now. But by the end of January, we'll start putting other rigs across into Raya Pilot when that ground is frozen, and we can get into those more wetter areas where we need frozen ground. And we'll bring up the 5 drill rigs in, drill 15 kilometres of drilling. So we'll basically put, we've got 28 kilometres across the whole property. So with maybe 2/3 of that at Raya Pilot already. So we'll basically double the drilling at Raya Pilot. 2 aims there to put resources around, or at least drill to try and aim to put resources around those more known areas where we've discovered already. Whether we'll be in a position to do that or not this drill season will depend on serendipity and the continuity of gold and the like. And but we've also, like I said, only tested 5% of the sequence, so we need to put the other half, continuing to make sure we can find the better parts of the system, even though what we found is pretty good. So about $5 million will go into the ground between now and April. Lots and lots of news flow. We'll do also 1,000 base of till drill holes along that East Rompus trend, which are just beneath that glacial rubble into the bedrock. So lots of short little holes, which will give us a lot of information so we can diamond drill under. So a lot of activity, a very busy drill season.
Perfect. I like that there's going to be a lot of news flow. That's what people are looking for, to be informed of what's going on and something going on. Now, in your personal opinion, is this a good time to take a closer look at Mawson from the point of an investor?
You're asking the CEO of a junior company that question?
Yeah, I want to hear your reasons for. I want to hear your reasons for it.
Okay. Well, of course, the answer is absolutely. Mawson has essentially been a privately funded company over the last 4 or 5 years. We have some fantastic shareholders in the Sentient Group, who owns about 30% of the stock, and university endowments out of the US that own about 20%. Insiders with 5%, but we also just put together a recent financing in December, over $5 million, that brought in some new shareholders, and you can see the increased liquidity in the story as we're now marketing the story more. So number one is marketing based around that big drill program, and the upside that I think everybody who looks at this project can see, that the drill results in the past speak for themselves. The team has done it before. We're a very sensible, technical, diligent team that's been in the capital markets, and so the right people, the right project, with the right financing behind us, $8 million in the bank to execute. So yes, absolutely, for all those reasons.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your opinion and also for your time.
Thank you, Björn.